Welcome to Shattered Ships, brought to you by Fandom Encounters. This is your DM Matt, guiding you on your pirate adventure through the seas of Corsair. Join our party, the Human Fey Wanderer Ranger Tesha Gwyn, played by Bobby, the Sea Elf Pirate Kensei Monk Trigger, played by Seth, and the Owlin Swords Bard, played by Alan, as they do their best to navigate this new world and find their place in it. In Corsair, where piracy is freedom, and freedom is dangerous. Last session on Shattered Ships, our party assembled their allies. After determining that they could in fact trust their allies, they know what has to happen next. But what gets them from here to there has yet to be determined necessarily. One big component of this being the trial of Kettle Crimsonwood-Svetzle, who stands accused of murdering Bam Bug Bera. The party has determined this is sort of a charade on the hands of Gilda Deepmaw, a way to undercut the populace and perhaps throw shade onto potential allies of the party and of the Cove itself in the Crimsonwood-Svetzle family. Having agreed to protect the children of Marion Crimsonwood-Svetzle, the party now must defend Kettle in court. Court that has now gone into session. Opposed on the side of the prosecution is Sam Eagle. The court is presided over by 3 judges, 2 wings of Gildas, Stila Benz and Blanche Featherin, as well as a visiting judge of sorts, because the other wing was in fact one of the witnesses who will be testifying, Yalkendian, an elf who once fought alongside the party when he first washed up in Cursed Cove. And there we are. Cool. I think I saved this. I wanted to double check I had saved this for this time. So the mechanics of this courtroom scene rely on your ability to convince the judges to sway them to your side. Sam will be opposing this with sort of each, loosely call it a round, as you bounce back and forth to talk to the various witnesses, put forth your own versions of evidence, and of course do so in the world of the case. Now you also have, not pictured in this area, you have Europa, who has waited outside in wild shape form, keeping an eye on everything. She was able to securely observe as they brought Kettle into the courtroom. Every few minutes or so, Kachi is shooting a message in the direction that Europa is waiting, just to make sure that everything is okay. Just in case something goes wrong, there may still be a chance to break out your friend. So, we pick back up. The party is in the courtroom. Kettle has joined you, looking somewhat dejected, curious, unsure, but somewhat confident in the presence of her friends. The 3 judges sit atop the lofty stands. The spectators are filling in the seats, namely Gilda Deepmaw and a number of your former allies. As you all look around at the judges themselves, you meet eyes with Stila Benz, and there is a sort of a look of understanding, a look of sympathy, as she kind of gives you like a nod of, like a very subtle, like, nod in greeting, still being very professional. But thanks to Kachi, you were able to sort of preempt this, get a little look-see in at Stila Benz previously. She was the one who told you she would be a judge, which gave you a little bit of an insight into the situation. So, as an introduction and a reminder for how the mechanics will work for this fight, as far as damaging goes, the first target I will choose for you. It's Stila Benz. Other rounds, you'll be able to choose who you're targeting with your pleas of sorts. So the defense all three of you, will work together to make a check. One person will make a history check, one person will make a performance check, one person will make an insight check. I believe it was determined that Trigger would make the history check, as he has advantage thanks to his feat. Kachi would be making a performance check, as the bard that he is, and Gwen will make the insight check, especially with because you add your wisdom to intimidation. You have the goggles that make your insight a little bit sharper. Yes. So let's go ahead and make those rolls now. So all three of you, give me that history, performance, and insight check.
History is going to be a 21.
Excellent.
24 for insight.
22 for performance.
Didn't realize I set myself up with math like this. There we go. Very good. I just found the card, and I actually had you all do this last session, and I didn't write it in my notebook, so I thought I forgot to do it, but I did it. And you all rolled very similar. So I'll just let this be like a roll with advantage to see which is better. So with a combined check of 67, that puts you over the edge better than last time. So I'm going to split the difference and have you roll 4d8. So each of you roll a d8, and then I'll roll one on my end. I rolled an 8.
5.
I got the 5.
I rolled an 8.
Oof.
Rolled a 1.
Rolled a 1. 16. That is a total of 22, I believe.
Yes.
That is a whole lot better than last time. So we'll take this one because it was my own undoing. Last time, you all rolled a total of 9. This time, it was 22. Steela's HP has effectively gone down as her sympathy for you has risen. One of the 3 judges has been persuaded to side with you all just a little bit more. As the trial begins in earnest, Sam Eagle stands. So we call our first witness, the Wing of the Land, who was the first to report to the crime scene. He will provide us with an overview of sorts of the crime itself. Everyone, direct your eyes towards Lance Evenstride as he enters. Sam sits back down, gestures towards... where is it? Gestures toward Lance as Lance walks in. Takes his place at the podium, kind of like nods his head towards the judges, towards you all, towards Sam.
Yes, I was the one who unfortunately discovered the scene of the crime. When I approached the building, it was an earnest. It was to keep an eye out for the accused. We had fought together. She had ended the fight in rough sorts, so it was my responsibility to check in on a curse breaker. I did not expect to find her standing over the body of one Bambug bearer. I assumed she had not. There were no signs of forced entry when I found the body, but that does not detract the fact that the accused was found over the lifeless body of Bambug bearer, to which she was apprehended readily. We looked into cause of death. It was necromantic in origin. As Kettle was located, she was detained. In doing a brief search of the area, blue cloaks were found, pointing us in the direction of Veritas.
He kind of like goes quiet and like looks back and forth. As Stila kind of leans forward, as having made connections with you while Lance was talking. Does the defense would the defense like to question the witness or present evidence to the contrary?
Objection! Sorry. I just want to yell at once.
Yal kind of gives you an eyebrow, like...
That's not the time when I'm supposed to do it? Okay. All right. I strike my objection from the record, please.
For my fellow elf, I believe your name was Trigger. I appreciate your enthusiasm, and due to your young age, your behavior will be excused this time, but please, objections are reserved for if you have a rebuttal of sorts, and we expect you to take them seriously, won't you, friend?
I take it so seriously.
I'm sure you do.
I'm very serious.
That trigger on the back. Don't worry, it's fine. We got you. Lance, we know that you came upon the body, and as you say, you saw a necromantic energy of sorts. Is that correct?
That is correct. I was able to sort of discern this. My knowledge of the arcane being somewhat limited, I was only able to determine the school of magic, not any particular spells or anything that more specific. In consulting, it was likely that something that the sort of magic done could have been drawn to a druid, a wizard, or a paladin.
Well, funny you mentioned the druid, but have the Crimsonwood-Svetzles or Kettle even ever shown more proclivity for any of this type of magic before?
I believe the Kettle. The acute. I believe. I'm just going to call her Kettle. I've known her for a long time. I believe Kettle is a druid, so there is some overlaps in sort of the magic of life and death within that. I'm perhaps not the person to weigh in with much detail, but that's just where my sort of evidence pointed me towards. And it aligned with the findings that Kettle was also right there.
I think it's, a very astute point, for one as yourself to assume that, you're trying to make all the dots fall into a line. But I find it hard to believe that Kettle, whose own parents have been a bastion of safekeeping and hospitality in this community, you wouldn't find every wizard, in lieu of if a fireball went off, that it's their magic necessarily, but just because she happened to be there at the time, you immediately think, oh, druid makes sense, necromancy, we have a fallen bear on our hands, or bam, as it were.
Sam.
All I'm saying is...
Sorry.
No, go for it.
Sam jumps in.
I believe it wasn't simply the assumptions of Lance Evenstride that led us to that conclusion. Not only was there sort of the smoking spell, as it were, a witness was able to corroborate this story and place Kettle at the scene. Lance is simply the first witness to be heard from. If you're finished with the wing, we can certainly move on, my friend.
I have some follow-up questions.
Yes.
Lance Evenstride, you said you've worked with Kettle as a curse breaker for many years. Is it correct?
To clarify, I have known Kettle for many years.
Yes.
Her employ or her association as a curse breaker has been fairly recent.
Yes, wonderful. As a curse breaker, what would you say Kettle's hardest mission has been so far?
Similar to, perhaps you and your allies could speak to that sort of thing. The probably the most dangerous missions that she's been on were alongside the three of you. The fight that I was referring to in my testimony was one that you were also present for, that I think you would agree was quite deadly, which necessitated me checking in on young Kettle.
Absolutely. And in our time here in the Cursed Cove, the first mission I believe we heard, Kettle, was that there were some lizards blocking a basement or something. So this does seem like quite a leap in capability of what we were expecting from Kettle. Now, yes, I will admit that me and my team guarded over Kettle as Kettle urged and insisted for the betterment and defense of Cursed Cove against outside forces. Of course. The Kettle Crimsonwood-Svetzle family has been deeply ingrained in this land for a long time. That cannot be denied. This is a lovely family. But this just seems like such a victim of circumstance. You're saying yourself this magic could be arcane, it could be natural, it could be religious. It's coming from so many possible sources. Kettle is a low-level druid. Let's say what it is. Let's just say what it is. Kettle, become an owlbear. You can't. That's not what she can do. That's not her capabilities. So, while we don't have quite the information on that spell, let's continue to keep that in mind as we move forward.
Your honors.
Sam Eagle interjects. Objection, my friends, and yes, my fine elven friend, I do take that seriously. So the assertions by Tesha Gwyn are predicated on the idea that we know Kettle's capabilities, and she is being forthright with what she is capable of. We have evidence that suggests that Kettle Crimsonwood-Svetzle is a member of the underground group made of thugs, thieves, and murderers, known as Veritas, as evidence found on the crime scene. This
Objection,
at least
speculation.
Oh, shit.
That covers his microphone as he kind of leans forward. No, that's what the evidence is for, little one.
No, the speculation on thieves, murderers, and such, that's slander. It won't be heard in court, and I please ask you to keep your tone respectful. Thank you.
Honestly? Fair. That's some Phoenix Wright shit. Substantiated. Perhaps I'm merely leaning into rumor myself. But if evidence suggests Kettle Crimsonwood-Svetzle is being duplicitous in the way that she presents herself to Cursed Cove, who is to say that she is not more powerful than she is leading on? Powerful enough to perhaps kill.
And when that is happening, can I kind of get a vibe check on Gilda?
Yes.
Obviously, he's propagating her propaganda, but does he look influenced beyond insecticides? Make sense?
Yes. Trying to get a vibe check on Gilda. Go ahead and give me an insight check.
Oof. Natural one.
Hard to tell as Sam Eagle stares you down. And because you rolled a natural one, I'll say that Sam is directing his rebuttal at you. So he's going to he made an intimidation check against you. Go ahead and give me a wisdom saving throw.
Natural 20!
Okay. Sam was not able to get into your heads. So he has used his rebuttal for this round. So he was not able to do that any further. And he was shut the hell down because all he rolled was a 16. So with Lance Evenstride's testimony on put forth, any other comments? I think I cut off Trigger at one point.
If I could, yeah. Sorry, and I know I stepped away for a moment.
You're good.
While describing did he describe the placement of Bam's body?
You ask him to elaborate and go into detail. So we'll say that will take us to a second round of testimony from Lance Evenstride. For now, The party has made some convincing points and poking holes in Lance's testimony, or at least casting doubt or aspersions on some of the details. The party may make a convince check against one of the judges of their choice. Sam's rebuttal was shut down, so all of these rolls will still be flat rolls. No forced disadvantage on any of them. Who would the party like to focus on with this convince check?
We do.
They want to secure.
Are you in?
It's like we don't have Stila necessarily yet. It's like, do we want to just
Yeah,
lock
we'd
one in?
Stila and get one vote for sure.
Yeah, because even a vote of dissension on them will help us.
I'm trying to think, because
I
what
mean-
we just talked about, I'm trying to think, like, thematically, what did we talk about that matters the most to these people? Blanche is a bit of a crazy person to me, but she has history here, and I feel like we talked about, like, them.
Uh-huh. We also did like a character witness kind of thing. Yalkendian doesn't seem very character driven, but I think either Stila or Blanche. Well, I think Stila would be the most inclined for like a
I'm
character.
down to double Stila and get her, like, winking at us. You know what I mean? Like,
It's like,
Lots
oh, don't
of-
worry, I stuffed the ballot box.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm good with it. Great.
Cool.
Excellent. Yeah, so trying to get fully swaying Stila to your side. I'm going to say Sam Eagle is going to focus his attentions on Yalkendian. His pleas doing so alone, less reliable. So all three of you may make your checks.
Mine is not great. It's a 12.
I get an ID4.
That is okay. I got a 19.
22.
Which brings the total to 53, if I'm not mistaken.
Keith.
I didn't really listen, so I didn't do that.
53.
Yeah.
That is a total of 3d8. For ease of math, let's just have. I'll start like this round. We'll have Kachi roll all three.
Okay.
And you can add it up yourself.
Okay. 13.
13. Excellent. Stila is further convinced by the party. Yalkendian seems to be nodding in Sam's direction as if he's made some sense with this first round. Which brings us to Lance Evenstride's second testimony, talking about the scene of the crime specifically, moving beyond simply the circumstances of the night in itself.
Yes, so upon entering Bam Bugbearer's domicile, there were no signs of a struggle. When I appeared in, I believe the Trigger is raising a hand. Is that
No.
visible?
If I could direct your line of thought, I know it's a little tough. I know those peepers over there just grabbing at everything. All I want you to do for the assembled justices and ourselves is simply describe the arrangement of the body. You know,
Of course,
how those
absolutely.
limbs look, or those arms, as clearly as you can.
Yes, so upon inspection, after pulling Kettle away from the body, upon arrival, she was sort of on her knees before the body itself, hunched over top of the victim. And the victim was laying on his chest on the ground, had dropped what appeared to be a glass of some kind, as if he had slumped over while walking from the kitchen table over to a chair near the fire. So he was sort of in the center of his room, with having fallen onto his face of sorts. Arms were splayed out, not an unreasonable angle. To the outside observer and to me initially, I thought he had simply tripped and sort of drank himself into a stupor, but that did not turn out to be the case.
Interesting. And since you had such control of the situation once this happened, could you tell me what exactly was the care to lock down the scene and care for the body afterwards?
Seeing as how I was alone, I took Kettle Crimsonwood-Svetzle into my custody, and did a perimeter sweep of the sort of small block of the domicile, which is where I found the Veritas cloaks that were stashed nearby. Once I had secured to just trying to ascertain if there were allies of Kettle's nearby, I went back to that place and sent a message to the guards at the keep.
So you would say that you had a fairly, good lockdown?
I would
Like it's all locked?
I would think it felt locked down to me.
Down and locked. Understood. Okay. And then just one more time for the assembled people. How was the body taken care of? Did somebody come to collect?
To clarify,
Did we burn it there?
The body was left in place until we could secure the someone with more magical ability than my own to look into perhaps what spells were ascertained. I believe there's another witness who can speak to that sort of thing.
Oh, can't wait to hear from him. Excellent. So, and in hearing all of this, does at least his initial description of the body sound like the drawing that I had pictured in my head? I'm assuming that other things in the room may have changed, but was the body in the same placement?
Absolutely. I forgot you had you have your own evidence, the drawing of
my own evidence.
The drawing of the crime scene. So, Trigger, you pull out the evidence. You pull the evidence out. Wool, I'm confident counting this as technically a rebuttal, as you pull out your own evidence to share with a court of sorts, and you can look into this. Because the way that you remember the investigating of the crime scene, there are some differences to what Lance, even more than what I said, has gone on to describe.
Here's my thing. I don't want to pull it out if I think
okay, cool.
that this is not going to help me out. Right. So what I want to prove right now is that there was a possibility of there being time after death, but before he got there and saw Kettle, that people could have been in there.
You are able to prove, you are piecing things together. There's wait a minute, there was more of a struggle. There was a cloak inside the building, which doesn't match up with what Lance was saying. There was definitely some kind of tampering that happened.
Okay. But the body was the same.
The body appears to have not been disturbed.
Excellent. Great. Your assembled justices, for your viewing pleasure, mostly because I'm really freaking talented, I want you all to take in this initial observation of the crime scene. If somebody could please give me a bum, bum, bum. Just me? Okay.
Oh, all right, hold on. Bum, bum, bum.
Not a skeleton in the audience, and gives a nod to Pluck, and they both pull out instruments.
I wish to make the erroneous, is that the right word? Assumption, is that the other right word? That our client, is that another word? Kettle Crimsonwood-Svetzle was on the scene and present at the time of death. Because if she was, well, that would be a little inconvenient per your own timeline for someone like me to have gone into that space and be able to see this particular viewing. There are differences, and we'll get to them. But mostly, look at this body. Look at it. All splayed and you notice how the arms aren't in an unnatural way? How his chest is on the ground? All descriptions that Mr. Featherington over there. Is that, no, yes? Lance? Arms even stride. That one said, I feel confident, your honors, that something here is amiss, and our client was not present at time of death. I rest my case.
Go ahead and give me an intimidation check, Trigger. I'd say with evidence, it would make it with advantage.
Okay. That's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. You are able to give disadvantage to 2 of Sam Eagle's next checks.
Excellent.
So of the 3 that you all do per round, he also does history, performance, and insight. Which of those would you like to give him disadvantage on?
Ooh. Insight and history, please.
Absolutely. Insight and history. Cool. As you drop evidence and he kind of like pulls a rag out and like dots his forehead and like yeah, birds don't sweat, but he does it anyway. Lance takes a look at the evidence, or it is shared with all the parties involved.
You said this is recreation of the crime scene as you saw it?
Yes.
This is not exactly
Pretty good, right? It's cross-hatching.
Not bad. This is different from what it looked like when I was there. Perhaps I hadn't secured the crime scene as well as I thought I did that night, kid.
I'll remind you, Mr. Evenness, you're under oath.
Then evidence suggests that the crime scene was not as clear as I thought. It certainly looks like more of a struggle since I initially found it. I was not the one guarding said crime scene. Later on, we had guards to do that, but it seems like perhaps someone was able to get in. At least someone else besides you, Trigger?
I'm not on trial here. Thank you.
Sam kind of leans forward.
But Lance does point to a potential problem. If the witness was you who snuck into the crime scene, I don't remember you making an official request to visit the crime scene. Did you sneak inside?
Your Honors, I'm not on the examination table. Is this a thing? Can we do this?
No, I'm just simply trying to point out the fact that I don't know if our entire defense can be trusted in some ways. We've already seen his folly in objectifying when there was nothing to be objectifying to.
So Sam is going to try to make a rebuttal against Trigger.
Good luck.
Is it like one rebuttal per team?
One rebuttal per team per round.
Okay.
But it's also I kind of like all of you having a reaction of some kind. So yeah, if you want, I'd say rebuttal per person per team or per round. So Sam was going to try to make a rebuttal against Trigger. Trigger, go ahead and give me a wisdom saving throw.
A 16.
As Sam makes his point, there is like a murmur that kind of goes through the crowd as people kind of are a little bit unsure what to think of this moment. Sam has bested your contested check for the rebuttal, so you will have disadvantage on your next history check for the round.
And that's just a straight roll then.
Yeah, so that'll just become a straight roll for you.
That was just speculative. He doesn't even know. He was just this, oh gosh, nobody understands jurisprudence here.
Jurisprudence actually washed up last storm.
Love Juris.
Brutus Bruce? Crazy.
So, in light of perhaps there being more eyes on the crime scene than we once thought, perhaps it is time we say goodbye to the discoverer of said body in Lance Evenstride. He will not go far if the defense wishes to speak with him more, but perhaps we should find our next witness.
One question before you leave, Lance. Are you capable of making mistakes?
I don't. If you live long as I have, you will know that to be a certainty, as proven by young Trigger.
That's all.
Of course. At the end of the round of Lance Evenstride's second testimony, go ahead. Who would the party like to target with their testimony check?
We have to win Blanche from him. Because we need to win 2 of them.
That's fine.
He's trying to win Yalkendian. But I don't know. Blanche might be a lost cause.
I mean, I think it'd either be, like you said last time, like, lock in Stila now, or if we can go ahead, because he has 2 disadvantages.
Mm.
Depending on who he goes for.
You tell me.
The disadvantage protected from a natural 20.
Ooh.
Yay.
Yay.
Do we know about the effects of a natural 20 in this case?
It's not like a critical success on the checks or anything. It's just because the 3 checks combined to form 1. It's really just a total.
Okay. I'd be inclined for Yalkendian.
Oh, to try to, like, reverse the gains that he's bought for y'all?
Well, you're right. If they worked out, yeah, that's fine. If you guys want to do Blanche, I'm cool.
I think Blanche, because I know Blanche.
Yeah, but I also
true.
know Blanche sucks. All right, let's do it.
Go ahead and give me those checks. Sam Eagle has dabbing sweat, appears to have been losing his cool towards the end of Lance's testimony. He was barely able to sway anyone in any direction.
Ooh.
20.
23 as well.
66.
66. That puts you in the most convincing tier you can achieve. That is going to be, go ahead and roll for me, Bobby. That is 5d8.
Oh my
A
goodness.
critical success, thanks to Trigger's presentation of evidence and poking holes in Lance's testimony.
30.
Damn.
Okay. As your comments are made, you see Stila kind of begin to nod her head in agreement, being swayed much more to your side. If there was a hit counter to be done, Stila is bloodied as you have fully... Oh, shit, you're right. You said someone else. So she's not bloodied.
Blanche.
She's there. But I have to do different. The math was easy when I looked at it because it was just 55 minus 25. Okay, there we go. Blanche is beginning to nod along with you lot. Yao Kendian is kind of giving Sam a look. You can pick up that Sam was like almost directing his towards the unknown in the room. But Blanche is beginning to nod her head along. But Stila still seems the most convinced by your party. Lance stands up and begins to exit the witness stand as Kettle kind of turns to you, Trigger. Okay, that was like I do think I was the one who found Bam dead though. Like I didn't kill him, but he was dead when I got there.
Of course you didn't kill him, Kettle. We know.
Okay. Blanche kind of stands. Okay, so joining us from the joining us, we have a witness who insists she was there to see Kettle Crimsonwood-Svetzle enter into Bam Bugbearer's apartment with ill intent. So we call to the stand a paladin. And with simply one name of Jaws. As Jaws, the member of the Royal Rumblers that you all have met before, takes the stand, looking almost like eyes down, much lacking some of the confidence that you all saw on her previously.
Oh, shit. Gilda got to Jaws.
As Jaws kind of takes the stand, Sam, like, yes, my witness here. You came to us in confidence and told us that you did in fact see Kettle Crimsonwood-Svetzle casting such a spell, as you live in the area and you heard sort of a disturbance of sorts. So, if it's not too dangerous or scary for you, could you please elaborate on what you witnessed? Jaws, like, yeah. So, I live near Bam. I have for a long time. And so, I mean, the walls are thin. When I heard someone sort of storming into his place, I looked out for him, you know? Like, we were drinking pals. We, like, hung out a couple times. So, I was wanting to make sure things were going okay. I don't know that the murderer saw me there, but when I peeked in, there was some kind of evil, like, some kind of magic coursing through her as she was sort of casting this spell on Bam. Like, all I could see was her hunched over him, silhouetted by the fireplace, just arms out like some kind of monster, like sucking the life force out of my friend. If I'm being honest, Bam's always been kind of a shady character. And that's not the first time Kettle's been there. If they were both sort of a part of some shady business, maybe that's the reason. That could be a motive. Competition, silencing him, or something. But yeah, I saw Kettle casting the spell.
I start this one.
Yeah. I got some things, but I want to hear what your things are first, too. You're better.
That's not true. Greetings, Jaws. First question for you, Jaws. Are you a curse breaker here in the Cursed Cove?
I am not. I was interested when I was younger, but it was not something I ever pursued.
Lifelong ambition, perhaps, that you just couldn't possibly match physically? A task beyond your reach and capability? Is that fair to say?
No, I just never thought I would, chase glory like some.
Never.
I'm just a simple
you could
healer.
do it still now, right now, you say, I could be a curse breaker. You are capable enough.
In some ways, I suppose it depends on the mission.
Yes.
Whether you need to handle things.
And you said that the walls are thin between your place and Bam's.
For the most part, yeah. I live down near the dock, so...
Yeah. Bam's known to be a noisy guy, right? Loud, out late. You said it yourself, he's a shady character.
I mean, he's shady, but I didn't say that he was out late or anything. I would just clarifying. No, he's not throwing parties or anything. We sometimes get together and have a drink or two.
Would never be noisy. Would you say he was a good neighbor?
Yeah, I'd say that he was. There was, comings and goings in his place. I'm not one to question. Sometimes I'll stitch people up for a few extra gold when I'm not, on the clock, but...
So it was often that people would come and visit Bam?
Fairly often, and they were often dressed very similarly, if you get my drift.
Interesting. And you just spent most of your days at the window watching who comes and goes from Bam's apartment?
Not necessarily watching, but if I step out for a smoke, I don't... I'll see who comes and goes.
Interesting. It's just weird to hear you mentioned now, Jaws. I haven't heard anyone in town ever mention you in positive regard before. So Can we walk through me one more time? Because your standing in the town is just so unknown to me. When you were approached about this, was it Sam who came to you?
No. It was when the guards started to patrol the area. I hadn't checked in on my friend for a while. That's when I realized that the situation was perhaps more dire than I thought. Oh no, sorry. I had the order of things in mind. That was DM Matt mistake. Roll it back. It's like, oh no, storm was going on. I was helping how I could. I'm a simple healer of sorts, so heard a disturbance, wanted to make sure that Bam wasn't injured in the storm, so poked my head in and saw that things were indeed a lot worse. I didn't know he was dead at the time, so when guards showed up, I asked sort of what the situation was, and when I found out the truth, I felt it was my obligation to share what I had seen.
And this creature that you said you saw sucking the life silhouetted by the fireplace, it looked something like, and I will use Masquerade Faces to transform into like a dark, like shadowy silhouette of like a goblin. But I want to then, I'm going to do like Who's That Pokemon basically, and I want to look like a halfling or like a gnome or something that's not a goblin. But do you know what I mean? Like I want to look like Mask of Many Faces, make myself like a short, shadowed one. And then it's like something like this. And it looks like the shadow figure.
Yes. I suppose initially, yes, that is sort of what it appeared to be. There aren't... How's it go? My witness has vacated. I suppose in some ways that is what it appeared to be in the moment, as I was perhaps a bit scared of what was happening. But there aren't a whole lot of half-elf, half-goblins in town.
Can I try to like show how there's like so many possibilities?
Like you're almost you're like bouncing between like halfling, gnome, kobold, like all these little small like.
Just to show, like this could be legitimately anyone.
Nice, yeah. You're like
Just a very old lady,
like kind of going through, and so you see like something the judge is kind of like nodding, like okay. Can we see where this is going? We see where this is going. Yes. Me pointing a finger and saying I saw Kettle there is unlikely to be told from a shadow, but I knew there was necromantic magic. I had seen her there a couple times before. Of the people that stopped by to visit Bam, she was the most likely candidate.
Gotcha. I'll take this one.
If I may, Jaws, as it were.
Yeah.
You are what did you say that you do for work in First Cove?
Healer of sorts. Nothing overly magical. Mostly just stitch people up. A lot of the fishermen and some of the salvagers.
You have a local practice involved, or you just do so from the confines of your own home?
I typically have a place I report to down by the docks. I'm not the one who like owns it or anything.
Oh, down by the docks. So
Yeah.
it'd be close to the Crimsonwood-Svetzles.
No, north side.
North side, of course. Okay. Well, when you do come home, you and Bam, you said you would hang out at length within either of your...
Every now and again. If I head home, if his fireplace is on, I know there's someone to talk to. So share a drink or two and go our separate ways.
And when you would be inside together, you would, throw back some kick flips, do some rail grinding, just stuff to stay in the home, correct? Just maybe talk about old ollies,
I forgot he
You
was a
know?
skateboarder. No, that's a little too dangerous for my tastes. If I've wrapped up an ankle or two of Bam's, enough that maybe he taught me. I think he taught me to ollie once, but not a hobby I took up from him.
I just find it, difficult to believe that you two were such good friends when even our own Trigger here, within the first few days of us coming to Cursed Cove, at length learned how to skateboard, how to even find his own niche in riding Goofy on the planks of a board that he now owns.
Your Honor, permission to do a sick kickflip in court?
Permission granted. Blanche gives you permission to do a kickflip. Give me an acrobatics check.
I come back in and I grind along the railing of the bench.
Oh my god!
Your Honor, the defense rests.
I rest my case.
No further questions.
What'd you get?
Oh wait, what did I have to roll?
Oh, sorry. Give me an acrobatics check.
Oh no, I rolled poorly. A 9.
Did I give him a bardic?
Oh yeah, sure.
All right, that's an extra D. What do I get now?
D8, I believe.
D8. D8. Yeah.
D8.
5th level bard.
Yeah.
A 16.
Very nice. I'd say with over a 15. I'll give your allies a free chance to do something cool. Kachi and Tesha. Trigger has created some kind of distraction. So if one of you would like, if each of you would like to make a check to either determine like what the judges are thinking, what the prosecution's thinking, what Jaws is thinking, or what Gilda is thinking, or anyone else in the room, you can give me a insight check as Trigger causes the distraction.
I don't know, go with me if this is allowed or not. In this moment, I know what they're doing to Jaws. I can feel it. I know she's been like beaten down, and I want to like look at her and try to like mouth to her like, you'll never win with an abuser. Like I want to like make her admit that they came to her instead of her coming of her own free will or whatever the hell it is. I want to break her. I want her to break.
Give me an intimidation check.
Yeah, I think I'm intimidating. 15.
15, excellent. Kachi, what would you like to do in this moment?
I kind of want to do the opposite, where I like not break her as in like you don't need to like escape from your abuser. Like I want to try to like egg her on because I know she really got under my feathers in the fight, and I want to just be like, you suck. You're going to go to jail. You're going to die alone. You're not friends with Bam. You're not friends with anyone. Like even if it's like a message into that, like you lost the only crew you had because you suck.
Okay, so like with the message, you're like doing it right into her head as like Gwen's going nonverbal.
Yeah, I guess I'm low-key the good cop here. I'm like, start over. Like,
go ahead and give me an intimidation check as well.
Like you suck. Change. You're like, you suck. You'll never change.
Okay, that is a 19.
19. Okay, cool. Bad cop winning out a little bit over good cop, and because you mentioned message, go ahead and give me an Arcana check as well.
Ooh. Or like they don't like mentioning in court.
Okay, 21.
21. As you like use this message to intimidate Jaws, you pick up on the remnants that there is another spell that has been cast on Jaws. As Yalkendian stands up and like two fists on his desk. Order in the court. Trigger, an excellent grind. Why don't you go ahead and talk to your client? The two of you, looks like Gwen and Kachi, a word if you don't mind. This way. And he gestures for the two of you to follow him, to an antechamber just off. The court is in recess. Trigger, if you don't mind entertaining them. He's given you a platform, and the words S.
So this is called a plunger puss.
SKATE pop up around the courtroom, so you have to try to do it in one combo.
I do it while firing my pistol in the air.
Yalkendian pulls Sam in as well, so it's the two of you and Sam. Look, to be forthright, your stunt with the disguised self, if I'm not mistaken, Tesha, flashy, but magic in the courtroom is questionable of sorts. Kachi, it seemed that you were doing something to tamper. Gwen, you were doing it for a spectacle. Kachi, you were sort of targeting our witness. We can't allow that sort of thing.
That's true. We should cast a Dispel magic on Jaws to make sure that there's nothing affecting Jaws anymore. Just for your own clarity and sanity, I think that might be
just to make sure there's nothing happening. I admit I had reason to believe that something was happening in the court, and I think if we do a Dispel magic forthwith to everyone, I think that would set my mind at ease.
Yes, and we don't want anyone accusing us of anything. So
that is a very good angle. That is an excellent plan. No, there's no need. There's no need. Precautions have been put in place.
We must.
I'd say treating it with advantage. Go ahead and give me a persuasion check. From both of you can make one, and we'll take the higher of the two.
Okay.
Ooh. 18.
I think that one is going to do it. Persuasion, mine's only an 11.
Cool. That is high enough. That's higher than Sam. As he insists, no, precautions have been put in place. There's nothing to worry about here. We can just move along. Fine, sure, whatever, cool. So yeah, I'll come. Sam, Kachi, thank you both. Tesha, you and I, perhaps we can plan something out. Let's discuss this. The two of you can go back into the antechamber and prepare for the next round of questioning.
Why should I stay here alone? Kachi? Is there any reason why I should be here alone? Kachi, I don't think so. Kachi, do not leave me.
Can I...
Kachi.
Wait. Okay, no, I got this. Can I go out, hear that, leave the door, I'm fully gone.
Do not leave me.
Wait. Get out. Invisibility and walk back in.
Ooh.
This person has the ability to sense magic in the courtroom. I was like, please don't leave me. I'm about to get murdered.
Kachi and Sam leave. Leaving Yal and Gwen in the room. Kachi, can feel the pleas of his party member, goes invisible, and steps back into the room as Yal...
I need to pull out my bow. I'm like, I know I'm about...
Facade drops as you look at the, nearly, almost albino visage of a changeling. I have a message from our mutual friend, Tesha Gwyn.
Oh, no, Kachi's here for this.
As you've learned, These are words from Pollux, of course. Little moth, you've learned more than I intended. I don't like you knowing my dirty little secrets. But maybe it can bring us closer than ever before. Since you're strong enough to dig up my skeletons in the closet, why don't you bring me the shards left behind by the Crimson Harbingers? Bring me the 2 that reside in Crescent Cove, and I may have... bring me the 2 that reside in Crescent Cove. Or I may simply have to pay your parents a little visit. Until we meet again, darling.
So are you going to vote?
And kind of like sits back. You're a difficult person to find, Tesha Quinn.
So, like, I feel like I'm so shut down right now. Like, I was like on gonna kill mode, but I can't kill him because he's the judge.
Quinn, has the moth lost its wings? I'm not the only one looking for you. Imagine if that assassin found you.
Well, good that they didn't.
No. My boss would not be very happy. So, perhaps you let this trial go the way that we both know it will, and I can help protect you.
We can't leave if Gilda gets her way. You have to side with us against
No.
Gilda's hand.
You can't leave.
Right, which means that the merchandise is never going to get to Pollux. He's never going to get what he needs while I'm here. I need to be able to leave. I know you don't think, so maybe you should start. But...
Good dig. Oh, damn. Okay. He's tries to suss you out as, like, you say merchandise. He like kind of like gives like a... But like relaxes back.
Listen, the sooner we all can get the room to acknowledge that Gilda Deepmaw is a dragon, the sooner we can escape this island. Let whoever... Actually, until she's gone, Pollux can't come here and take the magic that resides in the land. But you don't know about that. You don't know what that is. Because you don't get to know people, little boy. So why don't we help me escape right now?
What magic are you talking
more
about?
Later. Not in details. Not in the way you need to.
I've passed along my message. Perhaps I'll be venturing off sometime soon. If you're not willing to make this work the easy way, then you can continue to fight your battle as it were. Just know this is not a fair fight on either side.
Then shore it up on our side. It doesn't have to be fair, but if we join together, it's unfair to our opponents.
You've pointed out that, like, you've, like, got enough, like, you've backed him off just a little bit. Give me a persuasion check.
Making the deal with the devil over here. I don't even like what I'm saying, but... Okay. 21.
Well, the current witness is under a modified memory, so she truly does believe everything she's saying. I don't know who cast it. I don't think it was you, because it's certainly not helping your case.
We both know I don't do magic. So.
Oh, that's true. The only thing special about you came from Pollux.
What I'm saying is, if she gets her Dispel magic done, she'll regain her memory. She's honestly a member of Veritas. She'll incriminate herself. I don't know if that's like a kink to you, but we can get a bunch of people arrested before we kill Gilda. Like, it's something we can do.
My charade must continue, or else this will all be delayed. So, I can dispel it.
And like kind of like holds up like his gauntlet, like Fakana tech.
I can dispel it. Just be on your guard. Better than you were right now.
Can I leave? No. Am I allowed to leave?
Are you asking me if you can leave, or are you asking him if you can leave?
Asking him.
Yes, go back to your friends who can protect you. That's what you're best at.
I turn and I leave. Oh my god, I'm so mad Kachi saw that. I don't know Kachi saw that, but I'm mad that Kachi left me. And I'm mad that Kachi saw that. Like, worst of both worlds.
Tesha, you storm out of the antechamber back to the main room. Trigger, what is Trigger holding everyone in? How is he entertaining everyone?
Hey, con racing.
Okay, yeah, no, it's okay. So I just want you to point the gun right at me, okay? And I'm gonna do what's called, and I don't have an actual name for this yet, but I'm thinking the head splitter, okay? So, all right, hey guys, are you all done with your sidebar?
Yes. Magic is not allowed in the court.
So Kachi, you see Gwyn leave. This changeling like rubs his head and like goes to like turn himself back.
Can I take a note of? I don't know if in Morales I would have come across changelings. So if it's similar to Gwyn's disguised self, or if it seems like the Arcana is like naturally.
Oh yeah, give me an Arcana check.
Yeah, 22.
It looks exactly like. Well, I mean, because I'm using a changeling as like a stat, but the way that this figure is able to change is like exactly the same way that Gwyn does it.
Wah, wah, when everyone's incredible, nobody is. Wah, wah.
It's syndrome.
Before they leave, I'll like fly back out and try to catch Gwyn as they walk across and just like land on their shoulder. Well, damn.
Where were you? What did you hear?
I thought you needed help and ducked back into the room. I'm not here to ask questions at the moment. We're here for Kettle. But I thought that you were about to die because I thought that was going to be the doppelganger.
Yeah, I thought. Right. No, it's the changeling. That's the different one. Different.
Yes, changeling and doppelganger are the same ones, but there's also the whispered dagger out there hunting.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Lots of people hunting for Gwyn.
Just a lot of people interested around.
As Yao kind of walks back in. Right, it has been communicated as if it wasn't explicitly clear before. The use of magic to tamper with witnesses is inappropriate, and I shall ensure our witness Jaws is protected. And like snaps his fingers as the dispel magic goes off around Jaws. Yes, there we are. The defense may continue their lines of questioning before I interrupt it. He's kind of subtly giving the floor back to the defense. Trigger is muted.
Oh. As you
Oh, great, because I had some stuff I wanted to talk about. Jaws. If that is your name.
Yeah, it's
You
my name.
had... Oh, good. Let the record show that answer to Joss. You had said that Bam Bugbear, aside from being an excellent kick flipper, was also a little shady sometimes.
Yeah.
Do you feel as though that could be because that Bam Bugbear was involved in illegal activities?
Yeah, he was a member of Veritas.
Order on the court. Everybody. What? Sorry, Jaws, are you suggesting that the victim whose apparent death was caused by a suspected Veritas member and whose space was marked with a massive V, which I've been told is the first letter of the word Veritas, was a member of that self-same organization?
Yeah, but, like, it doesn't undo murder.
And how would you know such things?
Which part?
Any of it. I said a lot of stuff.
Who's a member of Veritas?
Are you a member of Veritas?
Nah.
Were you?
What was that?
Were you a member of Veritas?
I was a member of Veritas, but I've left that life behind.
Oh.
That's how
So,
I
for the
know,
record-
without a shadow of a doubt, that Bam and that little girl over there are members of Veritas.
Well, first of all, Bam is dead. And so
Yeah, that's what I hear.
if we're getting tenses mixed up, I just think
Wait.
it's important to note that one.
What you hear, but you just gave your testimony to the stand that you were there and saw it happen. Can you repeat your testimony for us of the night of the events?
Get her.
Yeah. Came home.
Night of the storm.
Yeah, night of the storm. Came home, wanted to check on my neighbor, and when I got to his place, he was dead.
So you didn't see anything?
No. And the crowd goes, "Ah! Order! Josh has been found out. Yeah, spell undone. All three of you have played a part in undoing this. So if you'd all like to make a rebuttal check against Sam for another convince or a testimony check, you may.
That's
Does everyone roll intimidation against Sam? If you're rolling against Sam, it's just a DC, so let me know what you guys roll.
23.
23 is very good.
15. No, wait, sorry. Yes, 15.
Yeah, plus 9 is
14.
15. Sadly, 14 is not enough to push past the DC, but 15 is. And what did you have, Gwen? I know I said it out loud, but it fell out of my brain.
23.
23.
23 is enough to hit level 2, so all three of his checks will have disadvantage. 1 from Kachi, 2 from Gwen. So go ahead and give me the testimony check against whoever you would like. Who are you all targeting with this round?
I don't know. Does that look like we'll play ball if we pick Yalkendian? Like, we know it's fake, but we are. But is that, do we want to do it?
I feel like
As Gwen, I'm looking at you like knowing you know my life. Like, you've never seen me more vulnerable in my entire life, Kachi. Like, I've been injured and dead and nearly close. I'm so broken behind my eyes. I am like, who should we look at? Like, I don't have any doubt or trust in myself right now. I'm like, please help me. And then I look at Trigger and I'm like, Trigger, who should we help?
let's focus back on
I don't
Steve.
know. What did that guy say to you when you went into the room?
He mainly just mentioned how he could tell that I was trying to go, trying to find out what spells we're on.
He knows too much. He has to die. Let's go. Let's do it for him.
Sure.
What? Can I not say that in court?
No.
Talking about a murder.
Focus up on Stila.
Stila? Okay.
So go ahead and give me your checks. Sam, he makes a plea to Blanche Featherin, but is shaken by the party. Rolling with disadvantage, he is not doing very well in the realm of checks.
18 for me on this
18.
one.
Also 18, which is
Excellent.
36.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, coming in on half that with a 9.
9 for
Which
a
is
total of
45.
45. That is
Okay.
that is enough to reach our second tier of check. So Trigger, go ahead and roll 2d8.
Oh, everybody else got to roll so many.
They did.
But you're going to get
10.
so much.
10. And remind me
10.
who this was targeting. Was it Stila?
Stila.
Stila, like I said before, but now it's accurate. Stila is the equivalent of bloodied, which means she is much more swayed in the direction of the party than in the opposing.
So, Matt, what happens? Were we explained if we get them down to nothing?
Basically the turning point is basically bloodied. So
Great.
because
It's a 50-50 scale.
if Sam focuses on Stila next round, he could potentially convince her back to his side, but she is right in the middle now.
Okay.
Wait, so everybody started off with presumed guilt?
They did.
It's like you're telling me the justice system isn't fair. Oh, man. Okay.
But also, we got said that, if we're able to convince them something will be better in case this all goes down, something. Someone said something about that at some point. But that's okay. I know what I meant by what I just said, even though it wasn't a whole lot.
Yeah. So the court then quiets down as you have successfully calmed everyone. Jaws has been quieted of sorts, being accused and standing with magic tampering the courtroom in total. And you see the judges kind of looking between themselves as how to proceed further. They didn't anticipate a tampering of witnesses of sorts. But there seems like an opening or a suggestion could be made.
Your Honor, was Lance Evenstride also under a modify memory spell? Do we know that? Since it's a sham of a court.
That is an excellent observation. Given my knowledge of magic of sorts, it did not appear that Lance Evenstride was under the control of magic of really any kind.
Okay.
Can I look at Zilda
Yeah,
to do an insight check?
absolutely.
See.
Go ahead and give me an insight
what's the-
check.
I think now that this spell has been undone, insight is 22.
Gilda does not. Even when the crowd was like whoa, Gilda was just sitting very still, kind of looking at the proceedings. It seems like she's not doesn't seem unsettled, but didn't seem surprised.
Okay.
Hmm.
You think we should bring out Kettle? She should testify.
Yeah, eventually Kettle needs to testify.
Okay.
Well,
I don't know if they...
typically the prosecution will put forward their list of witnesses and evidence first. If they're all done, then we could feel free to bring ours. But as soon as we do that, that opens her up to cross-examination. And I don't know if Kettle's ready for that. I read a lot while you guys were asleep last night.
Very impressive.
Thank you, especially because I can't read, so I mostly just looked for particular words that kind of look like a picture. Do you know I can draw? I can draw the death penalty, just the word death penalty, over and over.
I feel like I can draw
Like-
that.
I can draw that perfectly
Can
now.
draw it perfectly.
Is there any other? Does the prosecution bring forward any other witnesses or evidence at this time?
They like Jaws is kind of like ushered off as being not very helpful.
Josh, get the fuck out of here. Anybody? Nothing? Nothing?
Well, no. We have one more witness. As Jaws suggested, there is forgiveness for those members of Veritas who wish to sort of come clean and leave that life behind. Jaws is a member of this program. She came to us seeking assistance. I thought she was going to be a lot more useful to this court. But what we do have is another member, former member of Veritas, someone who knows Kettle even just a little bit better. I would like to call Onyx to the stand.
Yep.
Absolute.
Ushered out by a few of these lizard guards, the drow elf Onyx, who is a former member of the Cerulean Blasters with Kettle, is brought to the stand.
I feel like I immediately look up at Zeklin. Into the right, Zeklin. That's the.
Yes. Oh no. Yalkendian or Zeklin is the centaur, who is another member.
Yeah,
of,
because he was like, we'll keep on the lookout for
Yes.
Onyx. Then I feel like
like
now they're like,
Zeklin is like goes to like stand up, and I'll say because they're friends, Pluck's on the other side with not a skeleton, and Pluck kind of like puts a hand on Zeklin, like recognizing Kettle's friend, like, dude, what are you doing?
no, like just like imperceptibly, like no.
Like the horse neck. Like goes like lean back, the centaur side showing. Yes. While I was not there to witness Kettle kill Bam, I had heard her discuss it before. There were talks that we were like a low-level team of Veritas, and the way to impress people was to get information and make our way towards our, like, whoever was in charge. And Bam was a connection, so she thought that she could intimidate him and fight her way there.
I'm gagged at this. This is gaggy. I'm sorry. This person's just lying on the screen.
Give me an insight check.
What is going on?
I was gonna say, since I have such a loathing of Onyx, may I as well?
Absolutely.
14 plus 7 is 21.
No.
21.
21 for Bobby. I'm blinded by my loathing and rolled a natural 1.
Oh, you were just looking at this orphan and just overcome with how much you hate that.
Is this adoption court? This family court.
whose child is this?
You, as you look upon Onyx, you like see through the veil, Gwyn. Like he's like looking past like the hair that's kind of in his face. This like poor little orphan on the like urchin on the street is just like seemingly an act trying to convince people of something.
Mm. Now, Onyx. Can we assume for the court, for everyone, as it has now been stated, that Kettle is not on trial for anything Veritas related. We are clearly just here for Bam Bugbearer's murderer.
Steela kind of like looks at you guys like, yeah, if it remains to be seen if Kettle Crimsonwood-Svetzle is a member of Veritas. That will be looked into. There may be a punishment associated with that. That is not the same as her being a murderer.
Okay. I just want to get that out of the way, because if or if not our client were to be a part of that group, they could then, if they were, go back, make amends, do some community service, be of help to the curse breakers of this cove, which our client is, in fact, a curse breaker, and go back about her daily life. Now, Onyx.
I can attest to that too. You know, me and Kettle fought alongside these guys as curse breakers. Kachi's super powerful.
Okay, I wouldn't say super powerful, and I would also not say that you fought alongside us. Onyx, at one point you remember that we could not find you. You disappeared in the midst of battle.
I was scared, honest. Don't you have a way to make people tell the truth, Kachi?
As a way of you being under oath, I would hope so, now that we are in court.
I'll always be under oath. That's why I'm telling the truth.
I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill him.
Okay, I'm getting. Can I object, because I'm getting weird vibes from the person on the stand. Getting weird ones. They just said honest as the O is with a W. I felt weird about that.
I'm honest, mister.
As it has been seen, Onyx, you have then said that Kettle would have wanted to kill Bam Bugbearer for leadership and to rise higher in the ranks. Is this correct?
That's what she said, yeah.
Okay, is it also true that Bam Bugbearer was no more than an informant and more of a messenger for Veritas?
He was a messenger for sure. Kettle passed him all kinds of messages.
What would she then have to gain if she did pass this man messages?
Well, she could take credit for even more. Take out the messenger,
messages?
take out the middleman. You can find out who he's passing messages to.
Your Honors, I am finding this very hard to believe that anyone would kill a simple messenger. As the phrase goes, don't kill the messenger. For exactly this reason.
Well, she was just looking for whoever's in charge of Veritas, kind of like you guys.
You put quite a bit of thought into the death of Bam Bugbearer, haven't you, Onyx? And how one might benefit from the disappearance of Veritas.
Since I was so closely associated with Kettle, as soon as I knew that she had those kind of thoughts, I was worried for my own safety. I was wondering why she might, when she would turn on me next.
I'm doing this out loud.
Do you have something cross-examined?
No. It's just bad. Okay, you know what? Fine. Onyx, clearly we're over here making really, really general assumptions based on non-substantiated claims. You obviously can't prove that Kettle's done anything, right? We're supposed to take your word. A person who has already double-crossed, apparently, an alliance that they have had in an organization. It seems to me as though you are someone who just shifts whichever way the wind blows for what is most beneficial to you. I understand life has probably been difficult, being an orphan and all. It must suck, feeling that nobody wants you, not even parents. They were willing to die to get away from you. But guess what? there are people out there who deserve love and a family, and my client is not one of those, okay? My client is a good, upstanding member of the community who, yes, may have been involved with certain things, such as yourself, that under this particular court are probably up for debate. Because guess what? People have different feelings on those things, but it's not what's on trial today, okay? It is not the morality of Veritas. It is, in fact, the morality of murder, of which my client is. And you suck!
Go ahead and give me an intimidation check against Onyx.
Yeah, it's gonna be terrible still.
Let's say with advantage.
Okay, well, good, because the first one was very bad, and the second one was a little better. 14.
So as you're going in on Onyx, I'd say like as you're doing this, the thing that like hits like Onyx kind of like twinges at like the idea of like the sense of like belonging element, and then you kind of navigate a little bit of a way to getting into like courtroom speak. But that's the thing that like sticks with him. So as soon as you're done talking, it's like, what? There's nothing wrong with wanting to find a place to belong. So if people who are nice ask you to like spy on people, you do it.
You would do anything to belong, wouldn't you, Onyx?
Even spy on teammates.
Even backstab your own Veritas team members to feel involved in their demise.
I didn't stab anyone.
Onyx, did somebody in this room ask you to spy on your Veritas teammates?
All three of you give me an insight check.
Maybe suddenly start all yelling at Onyx at the same time. Like, we haven't had anything to say except for this. Oh, nice. Oh, nice. 27.
Okay. 14.
10.
Trigger and Kachi. Onyx like relaxes back and begins to retort. Gwyn, you pick up on Onyx cutting his eyes over to Gilda before looking back at the rest of the court. No, it was of my own obligation. I wanted to do the right thing.
Don't lie, Onyx. If there's someone here, this is the only opportunity you will ever have to belong and actually bring justice to something.
You are a part of a community, and you are a part of a group of individuals all stuck on this island. If anyone is making you lie, you hope gain that further, you should let us know here today.
Be brave, Onyx. Don't act out of fear.
If you want to belong to the side that's doing right.
Okay, damn.
After school special, all of a sudden.
Basically, like, not the direction I thought this was going. Fuck. But I like this angle. Go ahead and give me a persuasion check from Kachi and from Gwyn. And Trigger, go ahead and choose who you'd like to give a help action to give them advantage.
Probably for Gwyn, right?
Yeah, I would think so. Hey. Oh, you're better.
I rolled the same number out of both times. 2 9s, so 18.
God damn. Well, that works because I rolled a 19 for a 22.
Ooh.
Yeah, wait, sorry. That insight? Persuasion. 24.
24. Even better. Okay, this is going to be an opposed roll by someone else.
Gildemar.
What did you get, Kachi?
24.
24. That beats a 22. So, instead of continuing to lie to the party, Onyx like lowers his head and just says, Kettle never said any of that. Kettle, I don't even think Kettle did it. And like slams his hands on the table. All three of you roll a d20 for me.
God.
It's going to be triple
Like
advantage
one?
to roll Onyx's persuasion check.
Oh shit!
So we're going to take the highest of all three of these.
7. My luck's run out.
3. My luck's run out.
Oh no, gang! Not one.
Can we inspire? Can we inspire?
A 7 takes it.
In a way that being tricky screwed something else, screwed me up. There is, can you see my notebook in the camera? There is a spell that is currently
Onyx.
in effect on Onyx.
Limnus!
So the lowest Onyx can roll on a charisma-based check is 15. So
It doesn't matter that
that
we all
one,
rolled
a 7.
12.
The lowest he can roll is a 17 with a +7 to persuasion. Onyx rolls a 22, which is what he's rolled every time, because I've rolled garbage for Onyx this entire time. With a 22, I'm going to give the party 2 testimony checks right now to basically wrap up Onyx's testimony and get him out of here, because you have effectively nerfed 2 of the 3 witnesses from the prosecution.
Come on, Kettle. I am trying to save you.
So, are you saying roll everything with advantage? Roll 2 testimonies with advantage?
We're not even with not even. I'd say roll 1 with advantage right now. So 2 dice, give me the highest of each one.
That should be Gwen's because you get a +13.
For
yeah, I'm confused about
wait,
which one
is
we're
this-
doing right now.
This for breaking Onyx, you can all make a testimony check, and you all get advantage on this first one.
So this is the history.
History, performance, and insight.
Well, mine's advantage.
mine. Oh, I get a d4.
18.
23.
41. 16. 40. 57.
57, that puts you in bracket number 3. Back around to Alan. Go ahead and roll 3d8 for this testimony check.
Nice. And 8 equals 15.
15. And
Who
who
are
are
these-
you
who are these
targeting?
I was going to figure Blanche this time because we know that we have Stila currently.
Nice. Blanche appears to be close to convincing. She is starting to nod along with Olive, with like in this, like, okay, what the fuck is going on? This is wildness. And I'm gonna roll to see in the actually no, this one. This is just a free one that I'm giving you all for breaking Onyx. Sam isn't even going to act on this one. So at the end of this testimony, that one was basically free for figuring out my tricks. Now, at the end of the round, as Onyx is being ushered off, let's make our contested check proper. Sam did not get a chance to do a rebuttal at all, but if all 3 of you want to use and try to rebuttal him, go ahead and give me intimidation checks first.
Disgusting. 27. This is like the best skill check.
Just a 7.
11.
So 2 of his skills will be at disadvantage. Do you have a preference? Which ones? History, performance, and insight?
Performance. I don't want him to be able to convince anyone.
Okay, performance. And I'll say he's too distracted for insight. So those 2 will be at disadvantage. And then give me that testimony check. This one is a flat roll, with the exception of Trigger, who has advantage because of your feat.
15.
8.
3.
19.
42.
Uh-huh.
42 from y'all. All right, and who would you like to target? Sadly, it will only be 1d8.
Blanche.
Want to just... Yeah, Blanche.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll a d8 for me, Bobby.
5.
5. Excellent. Blanche is so close to being on the fence, but not quite there. Order in the court! Order in the court! There has been enough tampering with this situation. The judges would like to call Kettle Crimsonwood-Svetzle to the stand to get to the bottom of this. Does the defense have any other witnesses to speak with first?
Do we want to present any evidence first, or do we just do the...
We should let Kettle, because I think she'll do great.
Okay, yeah. Your Honor, Horners, Your Honor. Yeah, you guys. Can we request a brief recess first? I just have to tinkle.
Steela kind of like, yeah. Let's take a brief recess. Court is adjourned for how much time you need, kid? Like 10 minutes?
Yeah, sounds great.
All right. Yeah, 10 minutes. Everyone take a bathroom break. As the court comes back from recess, both the witnesses have been disproven by the party to various means. Judges have been nearly convinced to join your side, and Kettle Crimsonwood-Svetzle has been called to the stand. As she does so, the defense and the prosecution can begin their examination of Kettle Crimsonwood-Svetzle. So first, she offers her testimony, kind of looking at all of you, like, okay. Lance's testimony is accurate as far as the events that he saw happen. He and I, along with Gwyn, were fighting together. I got kind of messed up. I went to Bam's and kind of cuts her eyes over to you all to check on him. And when I got there, he was already dead. Holding back a little bit on the reason why she was there. He was already dead. I had really only gotten a chance to confirm it by the time Lance showed up. And by that point, I was in shock, and Lance started doing his thing, and there wasn't really time to explain myself. It all got out of hand.
Point of order.
Yes. Oh, yeah, sorry. Good.
On our recess,
Yes.
could we have had time to have convened?
To counsel with Kettle? I'll say yes, in the confusion.
And even just with each other, right?
Yes.
If we can keep that initial testimony, but from the time that we first talked to Kettle in the cell to when we had our meeting last night, I feel as though our priorities have shifted slightly. And so I want to make sure that we're all in alignment here.
Okay, so it kind of seems... rewind. I'm peeing into a trough and making direct eye contact with both of you.
Everyone is peeing into a trough together as to hold this meeting.
Hachi, is that how you pee?
I'm just kind of here. I have a cloaca.
You keep saying that word. Okay. Oh god.
It's an owl pellet!
Okay.
You can find rat remains.
I feel like we're doing a really good job proving the fact that Kettle didn't do this, right? And that's what she's on trial for. We said we might not be able to prove that she's not Veritas, which, fine. This might be our best chance and opportunity to vouch for Veritas in a public way. if she wants to step into it, we can start to work with that. Again, she didn't kill him, and that's what she's, right? Like, that's what she's up for. I don't know. I just feel like this is a little different than when we had talked about this earlier.
I think we need to point out why there's been so much framing of Kettle as we disprove and we prove the Kettle's, like, whatever. We need to immediately snowball that into, well, who would need to do this? And why would they need to do it? And blah, blah, blah. And it's why Veritas exists. And that's Gilda. And then that will give us our...
Okay. I just want to make sure do we feel like we should tell Kettle to lean into some truths or stick to what we had said when we were at our cell?
I think we should let her say her testimony the way we've planned it. But then when we examine her, I think we bring it out so that the prosecution can't use it against us.
Get ahead of Veritas.
Okay, great. Just want to make sure we're all good. And fast forward.
Oh, wait,
also, sorry. I didn't actually have to pee. This whole time, I was just pouring a little bottle of water, a little canteen into
Why are your pants down?
Oh, sometimes I just want to feel a breeze, you know?
We flash forward to when Kettle cuts her eyes at the party to see what she should divulge, and having filled her in, I was meeting up with Bam because, I am a member of Veritas. I wanted to check in on the fellow members of my team and Veritas as a whole to make sure everything was okay. He was sending a message for me. He also was in Veritas. We were in this together. I don't have aspirations to take him out. We were friends. That's why I went to check on him. And when I got there is when I found him dead. Lance walked in. We are up to date. And you look across and like Sam is like going through papers, like he was like waiting to like pounce on the Veritas thing, but getting ahead of it means he doesn't really have anything to go on.
Now, Kettle, I want to remind the court that this is not a trial of you on Veritas. I know that Veritas has had a interesting shake of things recently. We all know that there are potentially false accounts of them attacking the city square, that they have been seen obstructing justice and trying to make chaos of things recently. But this is not what you're on trial for. You are on trial about the murder and potential suspect of Bam Bugbear. And from what you just told us, you did not do that. You categorically were there to be a messenger. Now, with that, I want to get a little bit deeper into the question of why would you originally join Veritas? Did Bam list you into the fold? I mean, for all of us, we are on this island for who knows how long. What brought you into their fold rather than just being a curse breaker?
Sam leads. Objection. We have already ascertained that this is not a trial for Veritas. What does this have to do with whether she is guilty or innocent of the murder of Bam Bugbear?
Well, I just figure that if we get to the bottom of the inklings of why she did join, even though it does not pertain to the case, it may lead us better to know her and Bam's relationship more soundly.
Tying it back to Bam is going to make the judges sustain this without a contested check between you and Sam. You've gotten Bam back into it. Good job, Kachi. So Sam, fuck, okay. As Kettle, yeah. Bam is really only impressive in the way that he ingratiates himself to people. He wasn't a curse breaker. I don't know that he's ever won a fight in his life, but he can kind of see when people have potential. Trigger mentioned that Akachi perhaps, I forget which one of you guys mentioned it was, he had like warmed himself up to Trigger, and because Trigger's a pretty great kid.
And I think that's what Bam kind of did best. He found people who were looking for purpose. And that's where I was when I joined Veritas. I was frustrated, let's say, with not being able to help as much as I wanted. And Veritas was a way to do that.
Of course. No, that's very, very noble of you. I think we all want, per the Latin, Veritas' truth. We want truth. That's why we are in court today, to find the truth, to know that you, without a doubt, did not kill damn Bugbear.
You can't handle the truth. Sorry, I've always wanted to say that one too. I'm sorry. I'm back.
But it is a good idea, Trigger, because I do not think the court can handle the truth. Because that day was a very specific day, if you will remember. Everyone in court, the lightning rods in the sky were amiss. There was a giant V-shaped lightning bolt in the town square. We had all of my team within the Curse Breakers were split amongst the sea, land, and air, not knowing when we would see each other again. So it is a very simple fact that after a lightning storm, a freak lightning storm that happened sooner than most of us would know, that one would go to check on Bam to see the rest of her team. Now, whether a stray lightning strike may have hit Bam, maybe there was another intention in a persecutor somewhere in this island today. That we do not know. But what we do know is that Kettle did not kill that man.
Well, what we have established so far is that there was indeed a storm, which provided an opportunity, and the accused admits to being in Veritas. You've pointed out this storm, the V-shaped scorch marks in town, sending a message to intimidate everyone, Veritas sending a message, and perhaps Kettle, or someone else, was the punctuation mark at the end of that sentence. So, if we are not accusing Kettle of this murder, it still remains to seen that Veritas is responsible to some extent.
That is not the point of a court of law. Today, the only question at hand is whether Kettle is the one responsible for this death. This is not the trial to convict the person who may be responsible if, in fact, Kettle is not. You cannot pass speculation on my client like this. Sorry, I'm getting really passionate about this. I'm gonna take a step back.
Good. Lean into it. Lean into it.
Yeah, all that is to say is all we need to do is cast reasonable doubt that Kettle is guilty. We've already established that from the frankly shitty testimony from these two over here, Mr. Memory Wipers, and the fact that somebody, maybe it was us, was already at the scene of the crime and witnessed the layout of the space, which was then tampered with as presented by your first person of note. That's all. Kettle's innocent.
With establishing the premise, Sam has done his part to poke holes in your very sound theory. There isn't a lot to go on there. Let's call for the first testimony check of Kettle's testimony. So the three of you can roll your checks to try to convince someone and convince them onto your side.
I did so little. I don't feel like I deserve it this round. Can I say I was watching Gilda very intently for that to see how close she was to kill us? I rolled the highest I can roll on both 20. I got a natural 20 and a 4 on guidance.
Wow.
So in total, that's 24 plus 7, 31.
Oh my god. 21, 31. What did you get, Kachi?
Was this with advantage at all, or just a straight roll?
Just straight roll. I think this was a straight roll.
But you did a lot more talking to me.
Yeah.
14.
52. Damn. 66 once again.
Damn, 66. That is the highest tier. I believe the next person to roll is Trigger.
Yay! You get
Give
to roll
me
more die.
5 d8s and tell me who this is directed at.
I don't even have that many d8s. That's a lie. I do. Who do we want this at? I'm inclined to. Do you want me to choose before I roll?
No, you can roll first.
Oh. I'd be inclined to put. Oh, it's more ones than I would like. $18.
I know that we've got Blanche, like, nearly there.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah?
I feel good putting that on Blanche.
Cool. All right.
Putting it on Blanche. Putting it on Blanche. It seems that Sam Eagle is also targeting Blanche, but even with his measly rebuttal into Kettle's testimony, that is enough to push Blanche Featherin beyond the halfway point to where she is now more convinced than even Steela.
Ooh. Good to know.
And Sam, this would be an opportunity for Sam to cross-examine Kettle, and he seems too frazzled. He doesn't seem like he is in a position to make any arguments, if leaving an opening for the party to make a move if they would like.
Gwen, Gwen and Trigger, I was like, should we go full, like, lightning strike? Like, should we out it right now, or should we just hone in on the fact?
Can I get a vibe check?
You wanted to do an insight check on Gilda. I skipped past that. Go ahead and hit that for me.
Yeah. Wow. 13. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay, I'll make it a contested to see how much she is like masking.
Yeah.
Okay. You looking at Gilda, she is like barely even paying attention to Kettle's trial anymore. It's like, okay, cool. She is planning for what comes next, and it seems like she is looking to how she can get like out of the stands.
I'm just gonna say, Gilda's on the move. Go now, go hard, and go big. I believe.
You ready?
Okay.
I can go so big that if not, we die here.
Everyone, we've heard a lot of testimony today. We have seen that our client Kettle is not the one responsible for BAM, without a question of a doubt in our minds. The lead up to the events, the storm, the lightning strike, our prosecution lists it as a plan and plot by Veritas. But I wonder, if not a simple ploy by a band of rebels trying to get off an island that they have been stuck on, why not we look further at the one who's been here longer than all of us? The one who potentially has kept us on this island. The one who may in fact be a dragon potential of lightning.
Oh, we're just
Okay. Of trapping all of us on this island.
Incredible. Kachi calling out Gilda Deepmaw in the courtroom as she is in the middle of like standing, making a move to kind of to head towards the witness stand herself. The faces around the room, everyone seems... There's, like, shocked faces around the rooms. Those not surprised being being Marilyn and Skipshot Crimsonwood-Svetzle, your party. And you also notice that the faces of Blanche, Lance, and Steela do not appear fazed by this. But as this accusation goes off, Kachi, I'm going to need an intimidation check from you. And I'm going to say with friggin' advantage.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Okay.
Are there like little gavels at the
You can...
top of the...
The judges seem to have them.
Right. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. That's important to me. Has Yelkendian ever touched a gavel through this trial?
I feel like he has.
Okay.
All right. I rolled the same thing twice. It's an 11 for only a 16.
A 16. Let's see what she adds to intimidation. That is going to be an 18 intimidation from Gilda, beating Kachi. The chaos begins. So Kachi's accusation goes off. People begin to like rabble, stand up. Gilda like stands and kind of like eyes almost like flash, almost as if like a third eyelid snaps across in a moment. Like you've seen, like there's an element of this that has kind of like gone in the wrong, not the right direction for her, but she doesn't appear shaken. She knows now that you all know. But with the accusation standing, she is standing up. I'm gonna leave it to literally a flip of the coin to see which direction she goes with this. Whether she is going to cover
for defamation,
or go on the offensive. I'm gonna say
settled in civil court.
Two is going to be the offensive. It is true, and I've been here longer than any. It is true that I should have had knowledge of this for quite some time. And it is true that, in some ways, perhaps I have failed Crescent Cove. Unsubstantiated rumors aside, I personally can speak to the innocence of Kettle Crimsonwood-Svetzle. It was I who reached out to Onyx and to Jaws, former members of Veritas, in a way to offer a way forward for those who thought they had no other options. This was merely to see if Veritas would come to protect their own. As it stands, it seems they haven't. So, if I was someone out there wanting to decide who to side with, it wouldn't be with this band of vigilantes unable to protect their own, rest Bambugbearer. I look to heroes like Trigger, Kachi, and Gwyn. Bastions of strength for Crescent Cove. Cursebreakers, able to protect even lowly Veritas members like Kettle. I suspected your innocence, little one. I didn't think you capable of such dastardly deeds, but it is not my place to speak for the judges themselves. However, I would like to put my name on the line for Kettle, and I believe she's innocent. So what say we end some of this charade? Make a ruling for Kettle and begin talking about the disbarment of Sam Eagle.
Your Honors, we strike to not have that motion go forward. In fact, we would prefer to just spend a little bit more time in this current space. We would like to call Gilda Deepmaw to the stand.
Blanche and Stila begin to look at each other, and Yao Kendian just knocks his gavel. Motion approved. And Kettle gets the hell out of there as fast as she can, as while maintaining eye contact with Kachi, Gilda just walks to the stand.
We can't let her win like
I have
that.
nothing to hide,
Okay.
of course. I'd be happy to. I would love to. If my previous notions weren't on the record, of course. Kettle's a wonderful child. I've known her for a long time.
Please resist from giving testimony until you're asked a question. This is a court of law, not a circus. Sit down. Okay, so what are we gonna do?
I know we don't talk about Grizzle, but I feel like we need to bring up his name in some context because she thinks he's dead.
The best thing, listen, this is a shit show as is, but the best thing that we can do is make sure that everybody in this room knows that this woman is not who she says she is, okay? We have to discredit her, and we have to bring forward all the points that we've learned about over the past, I don't know, how long have we been here? Oh my God! But however long that is, we got a lot of stuff that proves that this broad is really a fraud, you know?
This broad is really a fraud. This broad,
Yeah.
no.
No,
This
the
broad
PR
is
campaign
really
is there.
a fraud.
This broad is and no, broad is offensive to women.
Gilda, I would like to begin with your arrival to the Cursed Cove. Is it true that you are originally from Cragland?
Yes, I haven't thought of my home in quite some time. Like everyone here, I've been separated for just so long.
You
yes.
remember your time outside the Cursed Cove? What was it like in Cragland?
I grew up in Cragland in a time of peace. The Gem Lords presided over the various dwarven kingdoms, and my village was one off the beaten path. We had not a dwarven leader in our village, but we regarded them highly.
Who led, if not a dwarven leader?
We looked sort of a council of Ifenglass. Those living around where I did, in the northern islands of Cragland, the closest ruler would likely be the Amethyst Aria, who was native to the sinkhole, and they would sometimes visit and weigh in on matters, and we'd host them well.
Any buildings of note in your town where you were from? What did you do?
There was Ifenglass is known for its volcanic activity, so that is sort of the main primary landmark. In some ways, Crescent Cove is more hospitable than my home.
Funny. And when you arrived to Cursed Cove, did you live in the same area always? Has your keep always been here?
The keep hasn't always been here. When I arrived, there was very little here. I was able to sort of offer homes to the washed-up vagabonds out of the kindness of my heart.
Well,
What
brought
made you settle on that location? Does the sunset hit just
It was
right?
centrally located. If you're looking at the maw of the cove, it provides an ample opportunity to survey for dangers or for those who wash up.
Like, how do I go about asking this? Take it if you want.
Sorry?
I said take it if you want. I'm
Oh.
like,
You say that it's centrally located, very, very well known. But I think, as history shows, this island wasn't always the cursed cove that we know it to be, where those of us who are now trapped on the island are trapped on the island. There used to be ruins on this island, correct?
Sam Eagle tries to like interject, and Gilda just like shut it. And she kind of like turns her head, assessing like how much you know, how much she knows. No. The magic protecting this place hasn't always been there. For eons, people fought and killed and died to be here. What happened with our poor Bam Bugbearer was much more common. Death leaking out and spreading.
Spreading as if almost from the deity. A watcher potentially made from this island of a pirate having taken power to immortalize themselves.
He's like immortalized, and she kind of like winces. That ritual is to be forgotten. I
just
have protected Cursed Cove since I discovered the truth. People are drawn here. The lost are brought here. On the other side of those rocks is a figure who desires the corrupted magic that the Crescent Cove protects. Without me, you would unleash a power unto this world unlike Corsair had ever seen.
But that's not entirely true, is it? It doesn't have to be you.
Rich words
Anybody
from one of
pick up that
Cyclops' own trigger. Have you
Your
seen
Honors,
mercy in the eyes of your former captain? Or only bloodlust, a thirst for power, unrelenting, corrupting, who's taken a child and turned him into this?
You just called me a hero a second ago. And the world that you're describing out there, yeah, it's scary. It's bloodthirsty. There are people like the Cyclops, right?
But they're not
also
here. Here, everyone has a role, everyone has a part to play, and I gave you that. I made you a hero. I made you all heroes, and yet you relent. I give you a place to belong, and you fight it.
You made us hardened and grizzled, you might say.
I heard some say grimbled, but
it's all metal mouth to me, you know? It's like
Grizzle is a poison who corrupted an entire crew of individuals. I dealt with them, but perhaps I didn't go far enough.
How far
what would you say
go?
you did? Yeah.
I sank his ship to the bottom of the ocean, and I thought that was enough to deal with him. Perhaps that's what needs to happen again. I need all three of you to give me a strength saving throw.
oh, good. Good.
I'm known for being great at this. So.
Okay.
High number. Oh my god, actually not bad. 15.
Something. I also got a 15.
I got a rock.
Oh, well.
It was 9.
A 15, and a 9 is not going to save. As in a burst of energy, Gilda effectively releases what is her... how do I want... There we go. unleashes what is her breath weapon. This explosion of magical energy around her in the direction of your witness stand. The strength saving throw is a failure from all three of you. That is some really bad rolls, which is a benefit to you all as you take 23 force damage apiece.
Oh my.
Bad
I
rolls.
yell so loud when like it hurts. It hurts really bad. I want everyone to know she's hurting me.
This breath weapon goes off, and in an instant, your speed, all three of your speeds become 0 as you fail the save, as this energy is bursted out in a 60-foot cone. I also need to... Okay, that wouldn't kill her even if she failed. Oh, damn. Kettle might pass. Kettle saves. So Kettle only takes half damage. So Kettle takes 11. As this breath goes through, and in an instant, Gilda is gone.
Oh.
Obstruction of justice.
Like Stila, Blanche, and like Lance all kind of look at each other as Kendian knocks his gavel against the stand once again. I am inclined to agree. Shall we, before we evacuate, shall we make a ruling? And with all three judges in the trial of Kettle Crimsonwood-Svetzle on the side of the party, Yal having joined, he has no reason to turn against his two judges. Kettle is declared innocent of her charges of murder against Bam Bug Bera, as the gavels come together in unison to pound onto the desks of the judges. A louder sound resounds from the outside. In your ear, Kachi, a message is returned. She's going dragon. She's trying to bring the building down. I need all three of you to roll initiative.
Oh, no!
What we got, Kachi?
11.
And Gwyn?
11.
Then it's like every initiative, two people match.
Yeah.
And Trigger.
11 plus 9.
Oh, God.
All right, so.
Okay. Okay.
For all those mathematicians
As
out there.
Gilda Deepmaw tries to bury the party and much of Cursed Cove inside of the courthouse, that's where we'll pick up with next time with Shattered Ships.
Oh, we did a good job.
Y'all,
Going
we're
dragon.
lawyers.
I was searching all my notes for Onyx, and guess what? Every time I wrote Onyx, it was just on the list of who the cerulean blasters were. I was like, cerulean blasters?